Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert has hit out at Benjamin Netanyahu over the ongoing war in Gaza, calling Israel's actions excessive and driven by blind rage. Speaking to Der Spiegel, Olmert claimed the ongoing military campaign in Gaza had long outlived its objectives. Olmert slams Netanyahu over Gaza. At that point, if not sooner, we should have said, it's enough. We have killed enough. We have destroyed enough. We have weakened them sufficiently. At that point, we should have finally posed the decisive question to the government. Do they really want to bring back the hostages? I don't think anyone in a position of responsibility can logically explain what we are doing there. I am convinced that we already achieved 1 year ago all that could be achieved within the scope of this war. Former Israel Prime Minister Olmert's remarks have come amid mounting criticism over the scale of destruction in Gaza, where the situation is grim. As of July 31st, 2025, the death toll in Gaza has climbed beyond 60,000, with over 146,000 wounded, according to Gaza's health ministry. Aid groups warn this may still be an undercount, given the scale of the devastation and restricted humanitarian access. Netanyahu is not only facing criticism in his home, but also under fire from own allies. Several Western leaders have slammed Israel's tactics and voiced support for Palestinian nationhood. United Kingdom and Canada have announced they would recognize Palestine as a state.
I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
For the reasons I cited earlier, Canada intends to recognize the State of Palestine at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025. This intention is predicated on the Palestinian Authority's commitment to much-needed reforms, including commitments by the Palestinian Authority's President Abbas to fundamentally reform its governance, to hold general elections in 2026 in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state.
The suffering of civilians in Gaza has reached new depths. The Israeli government's aid delivery model is dangerous, fuels instability, and deprives Gazans of human dignity. We condemn the drip-feeding of aid and the inhumane killing of civilians, including children, seeking to meet their most basic needs of water and food. This must end now. French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer have led the calls for an immediate ceasefire. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney and Australia's Anthony Albanese have echoed those sentiments. The humanitarian crisis, they say, has crossed every red line. The World Food Programme has described the hunger in Gaza as astonishing, with a third of the population not eating for days on end. Meanwhile, the United States and Israel remain opposed to any unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state. Though still advocating for a two-state solution in principle, Washington's recent exit from ceasefire negotiations has been read by critics as a tacit green light for Israel to escalate its campaign. While countries like Germany and Canada push for peace but maintain support for Israeli objectives, much of the global South and Arab world call for an immediate ceasefire and full Palestinian sovereignty. Yet, with no end in sight, the war drags on. Its toll now measured not just in numbers, but in the deepening fractures across the global order.